that owns the real estate. And a REIT will only provide sector exposure, and so you're not really owning real estate. You don't, if you really want to take advantage of the inflation hedge and tax benefits and have long-term income, you really have to own the actual property yourself, or through fractional investing or a limited partnership type structure or something like that. But everybody out there now that has done the analysis, done the research, are saying, you know what, I think you really need to take a look at investing into real estate, specific to the multifamily space. So to recap this kind of last segment, which I think is huge, we've covered some very important demographics and economic stats and general information that is extremely valuable to know, as I think it'll impact your investment decision. These trends have been visible for years, and we have seen, we've been communicating this since about 2008. Some of the largest multifamily REITs, Avalon Bay, Equity Multifamily, UDR, they've all been looking at this story and have been positioning themselves for it for some time, because they could see the demographics and they could see it happening. And I just can't scream loud enough about the opportunity that is coming in front of us now. Now remember, real estate is local, so you just can't go out there and buy anywhere. It has to be the right market or the right MSA. But the underlying fundamentals are that you have a strong tailwind behind you, and you just need to select the right market and the right operator. So it's this data information that gets us really, really excited day in, day out. And like I said, we're pretty bullish on this asset class now. Now we talk about the most proven wealth creation tool, and when you look at the largest wealth building source in the Forbes 400 is commercial real estate. We've just seen a lot of people in that space that are just loving real estate, and the next thing is 90% of the Forbes 400 retain their wealth through real estate investments, and you should research it, because you'll just see how true that actually is when you actually do that research. Nearly all millionaires earn their first million through their own business or real estate investments. The wealthiest investors own commercial real estate, and the fundamentals favor multifamily for the next 20-plus years. And I know when I was young and I was in my teens, and I learned fairly quick to associate wealth with real estate, as everyone I knew that had money got their money either through direct ownership in real estate or from investing with someone who knew something about real estate. So at a young age, I knew at a young age I was going to be in real estate, because I associated real estate and being in real estate to having wealth. So it's just a very important thing to participate in, and I think take a look at. What I'd like to do now is I want to walk you through the steps we recommend you take to get started with investing in real estate. This process we have laid out in 7 steps, and I'll kind of walk you through. I'll walk you through the 7 steps now, and it's not laid in stone that you have to follow these steps. It's just kind of a general guideline that we recommend that you kind of look at and you go through if you're looking to get into real estate. And so we're going to go through the 7 steps individually that you see on your screen here, and we'll get started with the first one now. The first thing is understand where your money's at today, and there's a lot of lazy assets out there. We call it lazy money, lazy assets, and it's investment capital that's not working for you. So that could be money that you've got in your savings or your checking account. It could be in your brokerage account. It could be in a qualified retirement account. It could be safe home equity. Maybe you got a bunch of home equity that you'd like to do something with. You have money sitting in your home. It's just sitting there. You just got to make sure if you're going to use that, it's got to be into a safe and secure investment. But it's money that's in your home. It's home equity you can actually do something with. Underperforming real estate, there's a lot of investors that came to us that had underperforming real estate and they wanted to sell it, or they had sold it and they wanted to move into something that was more cash flow. And look for global real estate return at least to 6%. If you're not getting at least 6% on your money, you should seriously be looking at other options, because it's important that your money's working for you. The next thing is planning. Really, what do you want to achieve? Are you looking for yield, like a monthly income to live on, or to fund really a life goal? Or are you looking for maybe equity growth, saving for a life event or a future purchase or a move? You may be looking more for equity growth. Or maybe you're looking for some sort of a tax shelter, growing wealth with reduced tax on cash or equity. Or maybe you're looking just strictly for wealth preservation. You're looking to save, beat inflation. Maybe you're planning for like a future transition event, or maybe you're just strictly looking for some legal protection. But when you're looking at your planning, you need to understand exactly what am I planning for, what am I looking to achieve, and what am I looking to save for. And I think it's really important that you actually understand what is your specific objective. The next thing, of course, that you're going to look at is what are your investment options that are available to you that are out there. And I think you can look at private and public real estate investment trusts. You can look at REITs, even though I think that you could probably do better. You could be looking at limited partnership type structures. You can be looking at direct ownership, or you could be looking at being an owner or an active manager. Now, of course, being an owner or active manager is a little bit more labor intensive, but it could still be profitable for you. But it's a fair amount of work. You just got to make sure you really want to take that on. And if you do that, of course, then you're flying alone, and you don't have somebody that's actually been down that road, that's made the mistakes that they wouldn't want to make again. The next thing is a partner evaluation. I think it's really important that you know who you're getting involved with, making sure that you kind of know what their strategy is, what their philosophy is, who are the principles behind it, what's their performance history, what's the growth forecast look like for your property, and what has their experience been in the space. I think those are very important things that you can't underestimate. The next thing is the investment evaluation. It's really important to understand, if you're looking to get into real estate, and you really understand, what's the deal review. You got to look at the market. Am I investing in the right market? Am I investing in the right asset class in that market? And why? Why is it the right market? Why is it the right asset class? And have the intel to be able to make those informed decisions. Then you got to look at the operations, because that's really the glue that keeps it all together, is who's actually running the day-to-day operations that's going to make it work. That's extremely important. What's the approach to the investment? What's the financial projection? And of course, what are the agreements that are going to pull this together? And if you've gone through the deal review and you say, listen, I like what I'm seeing and I want to move forward, of course, then you move forward to the actual investment process. And what you'll do is you'll typically, in a lot of cases, if you want to participate, the one is you're going to get the investment package, and that could be like an executive summary. It could be a limited partnership agreement. It could be a PPM, which is a private placement memorandum, and then of course a subscription agreement. And then the next thing you need to look at is how much am I going to invest? What's my investment contribution? And then once you pledge that, then of course we go right into closing, and then you'll be getting your reporting and communications both before, at close, and then after. And we'll talk about that just in a second. As far as a property tour goes, I think that if an investor is fairly confident in the market and the operator, you don't have to look at the property. I'd never discourage anybody from looking at the property, but if you want to and you want to fly to the market, because a lot of times investors don't invest in their own backyard because there's better deals somewhere else. And so I think that if you want to go look at the property, yeah, by all means, go take the time and go look at it. But it's not required that you do that so long as you're comfortable with the information that you've had to make your analysis and make your decision. And then of course you're just going to monitor and track, and see what it is, see how it comes together. And really it comes down to performance reporting. It's either going to be quarterly or semi-annual. Your distributions back to you, when are they coming? How are they coming exactly? How is the tax reporting going to work on an annual basis? It's really important that that's clearly defined. And then of course personal communication, with your investment, or if you got a property manager, or you're in with a sponsor and somebody knows what they're doing, what's that communication look like? How many times a year are they going to communicate to you so you can discuss the investment, the property, what's going on? Are we on track? Are we not on track? And are we on budget, not on budget, and things like that? But it's really important that you understand from the front end, what does that reporting look like, so that the expectations are set right from the get-go. And so we went through kind of the step-by-step process as to what it takes to invest, and understanding exactly that process. And like I say, I think it's really important that you follow the 7-step process to make sure that you're totally aligned with your investment, with your property management company, or with the company that actually got you in the investment, so you can fully understand exactly the process, the procedures, the communication, and make sure it's all laid down. So just pretty important steps to follow. So we're coming to a close on the webinar. I know that we said it was going to be about 45 minutes, and we like to stick to our timelines, and I think we're just over. And we've got just a ton of questions that came in from some investors, and I see we got some people that referred to us as well, which is great. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the top 2 questions, and then get into kind of wrapping things up. So the first question that I got is, where are you currently acquiring multifamily properties? And so the answer to that, Jim, thanks for the question. The first one is, the answer is Houston, Texas. That's really, we're bullish on Houston, and if you look at Houston's got strong population and job growth. I think there's about 5.9 million residents in 2010. It's an increase of about 26.1% since 2000. It's leading all other major U.S. cities. It was crowned the top destination for young professionals, and in U-Haul's national migration report, Houston was the top city for personal relocations. So even U-Haul is saying that's where people are moving to. In 2013, there was just over 100,000 new jobs in 2013. That's a 3.7% increase in total employment. And just as an FYI, like the nationwide employment growth, was about 1.9%, and Houston was at 3.7%. And Moody's projects 423,500 jobs will be created in Houston from 2013 to 2016. And it's an energy-focused economy, and rents are definitely pushing in that market for a lot of the reasons why we talked about on this webinar. So what you're seeing rental demand is outstripping supply, and so we feel quite confident there's going to be some upward pressure on rents. And the other thing is Texas in itself is being a Republican state. It's business backed, and so it's really for the business guy. And even when you're in Houston, you can just feel the vibrancy, and it's on the move. And I think that right now Houston is undervalued. We participate in the single-family home market there, and that treated us well. But the bigger play is the multifamily space, and we feel there's just a great opportunity there. Next question that came in is there opportunities that I can get involved in now? And I got to be cautious when I answer that question, because the reason why is because we're in we're governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, so I can't openly talk about investments. I can't solicit investments until we ensure that I'm talking to somebody who's qualified to invest with us. So anybody who's interested in investing, just please call us, drop us an email. You can see it on the screen there, and then we can go through the qualification process, or you feel free to jump on our website, and you can go through kind of the invest side of it, and you can see that you can fill out kind of a questionnaire that we've got there, and kind of go through it and see if you qualify or not, and go through that process. We love to hear your comments. We love to get your feedback on what you thought about this webinar, or if you have any questions, feel free to shoot it through to us. But if you could take 5 minutes right now and post a comment on facebook.com, you can see the address there on the screen. We'll send you an exclusive multifamily property checklist, and really it's an owner's guide for operating apartment buildings. And what it would help you with, if you got this guide, it's kind of our own little internal checklist that we use when we're looking to buy an apartment building. And it'll just provide you just a number of things to think about, to look for if you're looking to buy a multifamily apartment building. So feel free to take a peek at that. And lastly, I just want to, from all of us here at InvestR USA, I want to thank everybody for for participating and for joining us today, and taking time out of your day to kind of learn a little bit about multifamily investing and kind of what we're doing. And I know your time is valuable to you, and again, we appreciate you coming on board, and feel free to shoot us any questions that you may have, or if we can assist in any way. But again, from all of us at InvestR USA, thank you very much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.